And thank you for being at Education and Public Works Committee in the House. Welcome. I hope everyone had a productive week of furlough and are ready to get back at work. Mr. Alexander, will you start us in a prayer, please?
Yes, ma'am. We thank you, God, for this moment and for this hour. We thank you for life and for the essence of life. And we're glad to know that it is you who holds life in your hand. Now we ask that you bless our efforts and our intentions as we improve the life of others. So give us this day our daily bread. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. We have a full agenda today and need to get started and caught up. I believe first up is we're ladies and gentlemen, I need to, for the sake of time of a presenter, need to take H5168 out of order. May I have unanimous consent to do that, please?
Yes.
Hearing no dissent, we will move forward on that. And I believe, Pierce, you have an explanation of 5168.
Yes, ma'am. I have a brief one in front of you, and we will have an amendment to correct an error that was made before the bill was filed, but naming Carolina When I Die, if it's amended, instead of Carolina Until I Die, as an official state song. Many of you may know we already have two official state songs, one composed by Henry Timrod entitled Carolina, and one called South Carolina on My Mind that was made an official state song in 1984. I am happy to say, and you'll see on your screens, Mr. Patrick Davis, who was just named the State Poet Laureate by Governor McMaster, is joining us today, and he is the primary composer of the song. So, Madam Chair, with your permission, I'll turn it over to Mr. Davis.
Hey guys, can you hear me? No.
We can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay, just making sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Madam Chair and representatives, hello. Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me. Yes, Carolina When I Die, state song would be an incredible honor. So I guess just any questions or I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do here, really. You guys fire away.
I'm going to open it up to the committee. Any questions for Mr. Davis? Mr. Teeple, I'm sorry. I missed your hand up over there.
Oh,
Please.
no, you're fine, Madam Chair. Thank you. I just, before I voted on that, I would like to at least hear it. I don't know if they can email it to us.
I'm actually, hold on a minute. I'm trying to pull it up on my phone.
Okay.
Representative Teeple, in your
He can
packet.
play it for us.
Oh.
All right.
How about that? Can you play? Sure.
I would prefer the chair lady to sing it.
I'm not singing. I was just going to play it on my phone. Mr. Garvin, go right ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Mr. Davis, for being here. Can you tell us a little bit about what inspired the song and got us to this point?
Yes, sir. I grew up in Camden, and I, as the lyrics of the song say, it says, I've rambled all around this world, and I have. I've played all over the planet and been lucky enough to have a career writing and performing, and I always come back to South Carolina. We bought a house back in South Carolina a couple of years ago in Camden, and this song means a lot to me because the state of South Carolina means a whole lot to myself, and I believe to all of us, everyone that's there right now. So it's from the heart, I guess. I believe it's important for we all want to be connected. And music is one of those things that is magic. And I believe that music, I believe that music connects us all. And I've always loved songs that are emotional. And, my grandmother was, I always say this, my grandmother was in a traveling gospel group when she was a kid. And so I grew up around a lot of music of all kinds. My dad is a guitar player in Camden. He owns a guitar store there and teaches kids lessons. And I just grew up around a lot of music, and I kind of put all those together, and my love for South Carolina in the lyrics and the singing of, you know, this particular song. And I've seen how this song affects people who hear it. And it's not just folks from South Carolina. You know, when you close your eyes and you hear the chorus, even if you're not from the great state of South Carolina, you still fall in love with, you're thinking of home. So, and I think that's what's powerful about this particular song. So I do believe it moves a lot of heartbeats and needles for folks who are from the great state of, you know, they're from Carolina.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Davis. Could I ask you to play it for us, please?
Yeah, sure. Hold on. All right. Miss, all right? Can you hear me?
All right, go for it.
All right. Well, I've rambled all around this world, seen the northern lights. I have sang for kings and queens and senoritas of the night. I've been lost up in Alaska, living in Ohio, but when the good Lord comes a calling, let me tell you where I'll go. Take me back to Carolina when I die. Take me back to Carolina when I die. No, I don't believe that heaven is only in the sky. Take me back to Carolina when I die. Well, I've seen tornadoes twisting across the Texas plains, and I've watched the palm trees sway above the angels in LA. But there's nothing like a crescent moon peeking through the pines. Take me back to Carolina when I die. Awesome. Take me back to Carolina when I die. Take me back to Carolina when I die. No, I don't believe that heaven is only in the sky. Take me back to Carolina when I die. Well, I hear there are golden streets, mansions in the air, and my friends and my family and my dogs will all be there. Well, I hope that I can make it, but I'll only stay a while, 'cause I'm going to Carolina when I die. So take me back to Carolina when I die. Take me back to Carolina when I die. No, I don't believe that heaven is only in the sky. Take me back to Carolina when I die. No, I don't believe that heaven is only in the sky. Take me back to Carolina when I die. Take me back to Carolina when I die. Take me back to Carolina when I die. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Mr. Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, if you I know we talked about this earlier, but Mr. Davis is now the Poet Laureate for South Carolina, raised in Camden, as he mentioned. This song has actually gotten a lot of acclaim as well. Other artists have been featured on the song with him. I don't know if you've ever heard of anybody called Darius Rucker, but he's also sung with Mr. Davis, and it's a ringtone on my phone now. I have it. I know it's pretty cool. Yeah, I shared it. So that is the bill before you would to be adding it to the repertoire of songs of South Carolina. Mr. Grant.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Mr. Davis. Beautiful song, and I would wonder if we are the first committee to ever have a live recording or a concert. I think that's pretty cool. My question is not so much around the song per se, but around context on, as you stated, we already have 2 official state songs, and with this one, it will presumptuously be the 3rd. What is the thought around multiple state songs, or just kind of what I don't want is there to be 10, 15 state songs down the line. So at what point do we say, okay, here's the parameters and this is what the requirements is for something like this to be considered? That's just the gist of my question.
The parameters are not set. They are actually laid out for us to make those decisions. And I would caution that we should not bind other general assemblies in certain ways. If you wanted to have a vetting committee, this is what that is. We can take it up, take it down, ask for more information. That's entirely up to this body. Yes, sir, Mr. McGinnis.
I was going to say, Hamilton and I talked about this on the way over after session today, and now that I've thought about it and I've heard that version, I think that, if the Star Spangled Banner is a wonderful song written some 250 years ago, and talk to anybody who's had to sing that song, hitting that high note can make or break your career. I think that as time moves on, traditions change, and the reflection, art is a reflection of who we are as a society. And I think that I haven't heard the other 2 songs, but I would wager that this is a good reflection of who we are and where we're at now. I hear a little bit of country, a little bit of gospel, a little bit of blues in that song. So I think I've come around since we had our discussion earlier, though I like the idea of maybe one day doing like a We Are the World kind of song and get Darius and get Mr. Davis in there and get some of our other South Carolina big stars. But beautiful song. I'm going to support this bill, and when it's appropriate, I would make a motion that we adopt this as one of our state songs.
Thank you, Mr. McGinnis. Mr. Teeple?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Just for clarification, can you just tell me what Senoritas of the Night mean?
Yeah, I don't. It sounds good. I like the way it sounded.
I'm just worried about kids learning about our state songs, and I love the song,
Yeah.
but getting lit in Ohio and then Senoritas of the Night, I don't know what kind of message that might send, but just wanted to ask you.
Yeah, no, it's not. They're not it's the storytelling thing. It's good imagery. It doesn't necessarily mean, I think you could. Yeah, we didn't mean it to be anything negative or something that would be taken out of context, because the song, to me, the message is much bigger than that. It's more of just being the living life, I suppose, which I think we all have. But yeah, I definitely understand the question. It's just that it wasn't meant as anything nefarious, I suppose. Quickly, I was going to say that the question about multiple state songs. I do believe that Carolina was I believe that's the one from the night. I've looked this information up. It's from I think you're right on the money with saying that having something that's a little more current. I feel like it's an opportunity for the state, whether it's this song or something else, to capture an emotion and a feeling that is not necessarily easily captured, and as a state, we don't have something like this right now that people are can kind of gravitate towards musically, at least. And the version that is on the, I believe the docket for this is the version with myself, Darius as a guest, and also Edwin McCain. So it is a very, I purposely wanted to make this as South Carolina focused as I possibly could, and I felt like all of the three of us are old friends, and so that's part of that as well.
I was remiss. I'm sorry I forgot Mr. McCain. I did. I got busy thinking about Darius. But you got the whole state covered with the upstate and the Midlands and the Low Country. So there you go. Any other discussion on this? We do have an amendment that corrects the name of the song as mentioned by Mr. McNair. So we need to take up the amendment first.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Motion from Mr. McGinnis to approve the amendment. Second from Mr. Bradley. Thank you. Lauren, will you call the roll on that, please?
The question before the committee is whether to adopt the proposed amendment. Please indicate your vote by saying aye, nay, or not voting. Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bowers?
No.
Mr. Duncan? Mr. Frank? Not voting. Mr. Garvin? Mr. Gilreath? Mr. Grant? Mr. Hartnett? Mr.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Rivers? Aye. Mr. Teeple? Aye. Ms. Terrabill?
Aye.
Mr. Vaughn? Aye. Ms. Erickson? Aye. 2, 1, 2, 3. By a vote of 15 aye, 2 nay, and 1 abstain, the amendment is adopted.
Thank you very much. We're now on to the bill. Any discussion on the bill? Mr. Frank?
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. I think that is a really cool song. I think there's a lot of talent in here. It's a catchy tune. I enjoy it immensely, really. I hadn't heard it before. And I appreciate you playing that. I don't know the last time we've had live music in committee, so that is kind of fun. However, I do echo Mr. Teeple's concern here. Though it is a cool song, I'm not sure if it's appropriate as a state song, given that we are talking about drinking with hookers and getting high in Ohio. Fun as that could be, depending on someone's definition of fun, songs probably made a lot, and that's not a slight against the composer in any way at all, or anybody on this committee. But I do believe I'd challenge the wisdom in making this an official state song, given that we do already have 2 other state songs and a long list of official state things: state rocks, state shells, state mammals, state migratory mammals, state birds, et cetera. 4 pages front and back of state things. You know, I'm being careful to not criticize the caliber of the song or the tune or anything. Like I said, I enjoy it, but in my opinion, it would not pass muster to be considered as an official state song that we are endorsing and putting out. Given the nature of the the diversity of the state of South Carolina and the district that I come from, I'm pretty confident my constituents, being more conservative, would take issue with this. So I'd have to be a strong no on this bill. But again, that is nothing personal or indicative of my enjoyment of the song itself.
Mr. McGinnis?
I feel like I'm a judge on American Idol, kind of. I got to agree with Representative Frank on the lyric. If this is going to be a state song and it's going to be sung in schools, or if it's going to be played over loudspeakers and things like that, I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, though. And maybe it would just be a conversation with Mr. Davis to talk about, maybe if we could come up with just a couple substitute lines there, because I think everything else is wonderful. I love the idea that heaven's just isn't only up in the sky; it's down here too. And I think the sentiment of the song is great. But I think about those second graders refrigerators. Mommy, what's a lady of the night? Daddy, have you ever been lit in Ohio? So what happens in Ohio stays in Ohio. But that's kind of I do concur with you, Representative Frank, on that one. So.
Mr. Alexander, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. How many of us know any of the state songs right now? How many in here could sing either one or two of those state songs?
I know I don't.
No, hold on. You do? No. You know both of them. So how many of us know the state songs? It is as though we're going to be, it's as though we're going to be singing these songs like we pledge allegiance to the flag every time we come in the State House. Is that real? I think that we are being judgmental. If that was his lifestyle and he's presenting it, and I don't see anything wrong with it. We can interpret any song to be what we want it to be. That's up to the individual. But we're not going to be singing this song. How many of you know the state rock, the state bird? The character. Smart. That's exactly why you're the chairwoman. but let's be real about it, ladies and gentlemen. We're not here trying to set a precedent. We're not here trying to make everything holy, because none of us are. I think it's a beautiful song. I grabbed it from the very beginning and enjoyed the tune. Now, will I sing it again after the day? I don't know. Because that's the only time we're going to hear it. So it's almost like our kids, our children, our grandchildren are going to sing this every day. And that is not the case. I think it's a representation of who we are as South Carolinians, the Bible Belt in all of its ways. And so I think that it's a beautiful song. I giggle at some of the lyrics, but it ain't going to make me or break me. It's not going to send anybody to hell, by singing this song. I think it's a beautiful song. I enjoyed the song. I enjoyed the lyrics of it. And at the appropriate time, I would vote to make it our song.
Thank you, sir. We've got a few more comments.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Ms. Mitchell.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairman. And I really do like the song a lot, sir. I appreciate it very much. As a music teacher, I always appreciate songs that you have the melody caught by the end of the song, so that, by the end, I was ready to start singing with you and put some harmony in there. And I would love to hear a version of it where that has that gospel feel to it, because I can hear the harmonies that can be produced in it, and I would love to hear it. And I'm sorry I haven't heard any of the other versions with the other famous South Carolinians on there. That said, I do have a concern about, does this rise to the standard of a song that I would want to have my state put on? It's a wonderful song. I'd love to sing it at the end of a concert. I'd love to light my candle and go back and forth and sing, and it would be beautiful. But I don't know that it rises, especially with the lyrics that have been brought up, that something that we want to put our signature state on. And I will take one issue with Mr. McGinnis. I think it was Mr. McGinnis made a comment about traditionalists. I'm a traditionalist, and I love the Star Spangled Banner. And as a soprano, I never had a hard time hitting that note. So.
Why don't just like the song?
Hold on. Ms. Terrell.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. I can't wait to download this from iTunes and listen to the Darius Rucker and Edwin McCain version, because I'm a big fan. But I just wanted to also echo the sentiments of my colleagues about maybe the appropriateness of just the first couple of lines. And I noticed, Mr. Davis, that when you sang it, you substituted the word song in, or sang in, for the word drank. So I know that it can be it can be changed if that's something that you would want to do, but I don't know. But I just wanted to say that I also kind of agree.
Can I chime in, or is that not allowed? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Mr. Davis. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah. So there's a version of this song. First off, definitely was not about hookers. That line. Just want to make sure I said that. I promise. It was more of just about hanging out with a lady at a bar. But anyways, yes, I did a version of this that is a little more gospel with the Blind Boys of Alabama, which some of you folks may know as an incredible Grammy-winning gospel group, just amazing singers. And those guys are not willing to sing anything that has drinking in it. So if you heard the version, I actually didn't even mean to change the lyric right there. I just sometimes sing, I changed that line for the Blind Boys so that they would be okay and comfortable with singing the song. The great thing about when you are the songwriter, you can kind of make the song work however you need to make it work. And, you know, when the song was initially written, it was written in the vein of, you know, being in Nashville. And, you know, we wrote the song actually in Charleston at the in the Isle of Palms, actually. But it was kind of a Nashville thing where you're writing, and some of those things that you're mentioning are 100% accurate, and I completely understand where you're coming from with all the representatives. I guess what I can tell you is a version, it's not hard to clean a version up. And I understand if, you know, as the Poet Laureate, I want children to fall in love with music. And I do believe that it is important. I feel like we've missed an opportunity for having a song that is a state song, because if you want to know about the other two songs, you really can't even find those on streaming platforms. They're just not necessarily the things that people are listening to today. I feel like this hits a lot of those, you know, kind of the right spots. And those lines which you are mentioning, I kind of was prepared for that. I figured that there might be a couple of those that were a little bit questionable. But I believe this honor, if it was to become this one of the state songs of South Carolina, those can be changed very quickly, actually on the recording that everyone in the world is hearing. It's not the same version with me and Darius and Edwin. I can, in a week, make all the changes, probably in an afternoon, that would be needed there. And so I would hate to get hung up on those lines personally, or for what I believe is something could be an extremely positive piece of music for long after we're all gone. So that's, I guess, what I would like to say.
Thank you very much, Mr. Davis. I'm reading the room, and unfortunately you're getting one view of us. So I saw a lot of nodding heads in the discussion. I think everybody agrees that it's a great song. I've already said it's a ringtone for me. I love it. I think, however, if you could actually give us a version that would be a little bit more of a historic type of verbiage, perhaps, and you could do that for us. I don't want to stop this piece of history. Quite frankly, it's a great song. I think it tells a great story about where we are contemporarily in our space. But I know this committee pretty well. They're going to want to hear that new version. And I'm seeing all my heads move. So what I would ask is that if you could do that for us, and we just hold on. We're going to do a simple. I will ask the committee to do a simple adjourned debate. Let you come back. Maybe we'll even get to see you in person this time. And
I'm there on on the 1st.
I thought you had a visit coming up. Yeah.
So I'm going to be. Perhaps, whenever you need, whenever.
Yeah, I think, I mean, perhaps we can work that in. So, Mr. Rivers, do you have a motion?
I had a motion, but I had a comment.
You want to comment? All right, if you would, please.
As one of the, thank you, Madam Chairman. As one of the people who's been living a little bit longer, senoritas, I mean, you got the queens and the kings, you got older people, and you got young girls. I mean, and some of you younger people, senoritas, get with the program. I mean, you know, senorita, hey Slim, how you doing, young lady? I mean, but it's not that serious.
Thank you, Mr. Rivers. Mr. Bradley, you're next.
It's just surprising to me. I'm in the company of so many songwriters in this room. It's pretty impressive. And Mr. McGinnis, I suppose I could count you out of changing the lyrics to Margaritas in the Night.
Mr. Grant, we're going off the rails here.
No, and
Get us back on the rails, Mr. Grant.
I'll be brief. Well, let me just get right to it. A couple weeks ago, we had a conversation on the floor of the House talking about state roads and renaming. And I stood up along with a lot of my colleagues. Ms. Cobb Hunter spoke, and we talked about the offensiveness behind some of the things that were said on the individuals we're naming roads after. The body spoke, that's what it was. Here we are today getting ready to talking about a new state song. And when members of this committee are hung up on one or two lyrics, the consideration was given to come back to the drawing board because of the offense that was taken behind the lyrics and young people learning about senoritas or whatever the lyrics are. I don't have it in front of me. I just want us to be more considerate when offense is taken in other technicalities or in other realms, because I didn't know where I was before we got here when it came to this particular legislation, right? And I'm sitting here and it's like, wow, a couple people are offended, and we can take the consideration to adjourn debate and bring it back to the drawing board. But just a few weeks ago, after reading the exact quotes, in my opinion, are way worse than the lyrics that we heard, and I don't think the lyrics are bad. So I just want to look at my colleagues and say, let's be more considerate when it comes to the offense of some versus the offense of others. Thank you.
Mr. Grant, I would tell you that this is what the committee process is for, not the floor process. Different set of circumstances. So let's try to stay to the topic at hand. Mr. Huff.
Can I make a motion that we adjourn debate until we get a new version?
Yes, sir.
Second. Thank you.
Okay, good. May I have unanimous consent for a voice vote? Oh, do I have to? To apply the previous vote. Sorry, wrong verbiage. Two opposed, one abstention, and 15 in favor. Is that acceptable? Great. Perfect. No objection. We're going to simple adjourn debate, bring it back, and let Mr. Davis present the change.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Since I made that nay vote, can I change that vote on this?
We're just flexible today, aren't we, everybody? Okay. Remember, this is full committee, and my flexibility only goes so far. All right. Lauren, would you please call the roll?
7.
To adjourn. The question before the committee is whether to adjourn debate on the bill as amended. Please indicate your vote by saying aye, nay, or not voting. Mr. Alexander? Not voting. Mr. Bowers? Aye, emphatically. Mr. Bradley? Mr. Duncan?
Simple aye.
Mr. Frank? Aye. Mr. Garvin? Yes. Mr. Gilreath?
Nay. I'm just kidding.
Mr. Grant? Mr. Hartnett? Mr. Huff?
Aye.
Mr. Kilmartin? Mr. McGinnis?
Complicated yet.
Miss Mitchell?
Aye.
Oh, there you go.
Mr. Rivers?
That was cool.
Abstain. Mr. Teeple?
Aye.
Ms. Terrabiel?
Aye.
Mr. Vaughn? Ms. Erickson?
Aye.
By a vote of 16 aye and 2 abstain, the bill is adjourned.